Beastburg broadcast number 00.
Okay, this is Uncle Bert Lamb saying hello from Beastburg. We're broadcasting from planet Darkstar today to your planet Earth. We want to thank you for sending Earth songs to us in musical notation format and for making them show up as screensavers on our idle computers. This Darkstar Journal show is a sort of return gift from our little group. On Darkstar, it is 3215, the 8th month, August, and the 10th day. Today, Thursday morning, I stood out on our porch in the kitchen doorway and texted Bellmarsh Prison to get last-minute permission for a visit with Marco Fly. Marco is in the high security wing, and there are special procedures required for visitors. Meanwhile, Einstat Chimp was filling in visitor forms online. We'd arranged to take the ferry together from BU Port. It was a beautiful morning. Yesterday's rains had left the air clear and the colors bright. A moment later, the prison texted permission, and I called Amanda Rabbit next door. "Good morning," I said. "Hi, Uncle," she sang out over the line. "I'm taking Einstat to meet Marco Fly. He's researching flybots and is getting curious about our notorious friend." "Well, he'll just have to stay curious. Does Marco know our notorious friend is still alive?" "No." "Then just play it cool and lie through your teeth." "That was my plan." "Dear Uncle," said Amanda, "thank you for keeping me in the loop. Call me after." "Will do," I said and hung up. Einstat met me above the pier, and we took the local ferry to Hold Island, standing up at the front on the top deck. The day warmed up and there was a salty breeze. That ferry felt like just the right place to be. "I love these old ferries," said Einstat. "They were very clever to base the design of them on our traditional red and black tugboats. I take ferries every chance I get. I don't drive, and I get bored with taxis in the tube. Do you drive?" "Yes," I told him. "I do, but mostly Rosabella does the driving. She's a nervous passenger." "As a boy in Beastburg," Einstat reminisced, "growing up in Grandfather Chimp's house in Deep Poultry, we looked out to the sea. I wanted to be a sailor when I grew up. My father and grandfather always laughed at me for that and told me I would in due course follow them into Beastburg University and become a professor of mathematics like them, which is, of course, what happened. However, I only lasted at BU about 10 years. By that point, I had got interested in computer science and innovation. When Jack Rabbit asked me to help him with his little startup, I jumped at the chance and went sailing off with the good ship Jackster Company." "But you still live at the BU Faculty Club," I reminded him. "Yes, that's true," he said. "I still give 3 public lectures a year at BU to keep my hand in and justify my staying at the club. But I've left it all behind. I'm not on any university committees or anything. I hate committees." "Is that why, when it started, you turned down the offer to join the Jackster board?" Einstat laughed. "Yes. Even though I was getting my secretary, Agnes Fox, to do most of the work, I was the one who ran the Jackster Company for 3 years while we built the plant and got the place up and running. That involved enough committee meetings to last a lifetime. All of our Woody Spit alumni love democratic meetings, but they're too talky for me. However, I didn't mind last night's meeting since I got what I wanted." "But they cut your financing in half." "Ha! The important thing is that my AI team can start in on cross-disciplinary work with other Jackster departments, and they didn't shut the door on me making my own robot." "So that's your goal?" Yes, yes, but I can see why Agnes and Jack Rabbit are against it. The Jackster Company is overstretched with new projects, and they don't think robots are a good fit for our image. I think they're wrong. Robots don't have to be like slaves for rich animals or be one more way for big corporations to control animals' minds. With Agnes, Einstat went on, I have to do this funny dance because I start and end my day in our old office together, and she's my closest intimate. And now we have a disagreement. But tell me, Bert, where do you stand on robots? Well, I've been reading up on them lately and finding the issues around them very interesting. We've had Arnett rolling around our house for over 10 years now, so I've learned something about robots firsthand. Ellie was given Arnett by her rich father, Felix Ram, when she was probably too young. Ellie painted Arnett's face and gave her a lamb's wig and a girl's name, and she was a toy. So my relationship grew up with Arnett as if she were a kind of personalized doll, even if a somewhat educated doll. All of the limits to her abilities and her odd computer glitches seemed forgivable because she was just this doll. For Ellie's sake, I pretended to have little conversations with her, and then, over the years, I was surprised to find myself having a sort of real relationship with a robot. It all just snuck up on me. Interesting, said Einstat. This is the side of robots I want to know about, their ability to socially integrate. That's why I asked you to set up this meeting with Marco Fly. I'm hopeful he can give me help. Einstat spoke as our ferry took the corner at the bottom of Beastburg, with the skyscrapers of the financial district looming above us. After watching cars speeding along Orbital Drive, I asked him, "What do you hope to get from Marco?" "Marco Fly," he told me, "worked as a spy for the insects all through the Second Insect War. He was the go-between connecting their flybot-inventing scientist, Carmel Fly, and the leader of the insects, Big Furry Khan. I believe Marco had inside knowledge about their flybot machines. Flybots are still the most sophisticated work that's been done on what I call emotional robotics. But why am I telling you this when you actually know the guy? Tell me, how do you know Marco, and why do you visit him?" "I first got to know Marco," I began, "when he was the lead singer for the Drones over 20 years ago. I interviewed him for Musically Speaking, the radio show I did on the BBN. Then he left the Drones and went out on his own and had some success, but I was never a big fan of flies like him who buzz with a big vibrato. And also, I'm afraid he was one of those insects who deny their insectness in order to be popular with animals. All his friends seem to be animals." "I have known such insects," said Einstat. A beep right then signaled a text from Bellmarsh Prison, which I read to Einstat. It said, without giving a reason, that our visit had been cancelled. This seemed typical, but neither of us minded. We were having a lovely day out on the water. I texted the prison a request for another visit and finished my story. The prosecuting attorneys during Marco's show trial for treason said terrible things about him, hoping to discourage animal-insect relations. I became a witness for the defense. Even though his distancing himself from the insect cause was just an act to help set himself up as a spy, Marco really was sincerely capable of friendship with animals. That's how I got to know him, through that court case, and all these years later, we're still good friends. He's a great guy and loves the ghosty songs. "When we get to Hold Island," said Einstat, "shall we just stay on the ferry and go home like that? The breeze will be behind us." "Why not?" I said, and clapped him on the shoulder.
Bye.